harvest gets underway in Nebraska, ahead on NTV's Grow. Strong soybean yields give farmers some optimism in an otherwise dismal year. And our market analyst will stop by to help us make sense of the grain markets. Plus more on ConAgra's move and the local connection to central Nebraska agriculture history. Then we'll meet our family farmer of the month doing his part to be the voice of agriculture. Get ready to grow.
Hillary Clinton is standing against the Keystone XL pipeline project.
She made the big announcement official today, this afternoon, in fact, at a campaign event in Iowa. She said she had hoped to respond to the president and State Department's decision, but because the process has taken so long, she finally decided to make her feelings known.
And I think it is imperative that we look at the Keystone Pipeline as what I believe it is, a distraction from the important work we have to do to combat climate change, and unfortunately, from my perspective, one that interferes with our ability to move forward to deal with all the other issues. Therefore, I oppose it, and I oppose it because I don't think it's in the best interests of what we need to do to combat climate change.
Two other Democrats in the race, Bernie Sanders, Martin O'Malley, have already come out against the Keystone XL pipeline.
Soybean harvest gains momentum but has been slowed by recent rains. Seed corn harvest is also well underway. Dry conditions in the west allowed winter wheat seeding to progress as well. According to the latest USDA reports, the vast majority of corn is in good to excellent condition. 10% of corn has been harvested at last count. Sorghum harvest has yet to really get started, and as we would expect, it's soybeans where the most progress has been made, with quite a bit of field work just in the last week. And there are still millions of bushels of old crop corn in the bin. As of September 1st, the most recent government count, old crop corn amounted to 182 million bushels in Nebraska, up 29% from 2014. Of that total, 51 million bushels are stored on farms. Old crop soybean numbers are also higher than they were a year ago.
Lancaster County Sheriff claims shots were fired at Tariq Artis after he pointed a loaded .45 caliber handgun at the deputies. Artis was fleeing from a Lincoln cop after a traffic stop. Lincoln police say the officer saw that Artis was carrying the gun, so the officer called for more aid. The name of the deputy marshal involved in this case has not yet been released.
Since planting some crops was delayed by wet conditions, Central Nebraska Public Power and Irrigation District agreed to extend the season by 2 weeks. The 2-inch per acre allocation, though, remains in place. Meanwhile, Lake McConaughey is likely to reach its peak elevation this week. Inflows from the North Platte River recede and releases for irrigation deliveries are picking up. CNPPID civil engineer reported it will not quite reach the normal maximum pool elevation.
Maybe they get to finish the rest of their dinner later, or the snack that they have later still has the same nutrients in dinner time. Maybe it's still a vegetable with a whole grain and a little bit of a protein.
She must not have kids. A nighttime snack should be calming and loaded with nutrients that are able to hold kids over till morning. Snacks that can contain protein and fiber are good choices because they'll help keep them full all night. Think whole grain crackers, cheese, warm milk, even popcorn. It's best to give that treat about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. But if your child's dinner is late because of after-school activities, Willoughby says a snack isn't necessary.
If kids aren't having dinner until they come home from sports at 8 o'clock at night and then they're going to bed at 9, there's really no need for a snack.
Well, it's best to avoid foods that might rev your child up in the evening, like sweets, foods that contain chocolate, or items that contain caffeine.
The waters of the U.S. rule on hold here in Nebraska and across the country. In case you missed it, in a 2-to-1 ruling, a federal appeals court recently blocked the Obama administration rule that attempts to clarify which small streams, wetlands, and other waterways the government can shield from pollution and development. The regulations now on hold nationwide. Here's reaction from Congressman Adrian Smith.
Well, clearly the EPA is overstepping, and I'm glad that now 2 different court decisions have basically said that this is not the right direction, or at least setting up a delay I have introduced the resolution of disapproval on the House side, and Senator Ernst from Iowa has introduced it over on the Senate side. We've got good, strong lists of co-sponsorships, bipartisan on the House side. I think only Republicans on the Senate side so far, but I think there would be some Democratic senators, whether it's North Dakota, Indiana, and some others, support pushing back on this because they know it's bad for agriculture. It's unintended by Congress, clearly unintended by Congress, and it's certainly an overreach.